Here, there is only one law, written in blood and fear. He who hesitates is lost. The sky is heavy. The ground trembles with the heartbeats of the hunter and the hunted. In a place where everything can kill or be killed, instinct is the only weapon that remains. A single faltering breath, and death will rise from the grass. Life here has no room for error, only for the quicker, the more ruthless, the wiser. And when the hunt begins, who will be the first to shatter the silence? Forget the lumbering giants. Today's target is smaller, but far more perfect. The group moves in utter silence every glance. A command. No speed, no cover, only patience and ruthless precision. The first strike fails. But the next lands with the certainty of instinct. One life ends so that others may go on. There is a story told not in words, but in heavy footfalls. They are not just a herd moving across the savannah. They are a river of memory flowing through time. Within each of these giants lives the spirit of the fallen, lessons etched into every fold of skin, and the sorrow of partings that never fade. They come here not only to find water, but to find themselves in the shadow of their ancestors. Because for them this is not a migration, it is a pilgrimage. The heat builds slowly over the plains of South Luangwa, and the dust hanging in the air signals that something immense is approaching. In the distance, the ground begins to tremble, and a line of colossal shapes emerges between the mopane trees. They are African elephants. They cross the valley with a calm authority. But every step carries the weight of experience and the impact of a massive body. Standing over 13 feet tall and weighing up to 14,000 pounds, these animals shape the landscape as they pass. A single group can create entire clearings by removing trees with their tusks, which are in fact elongated upper incisors. This behavior, far from being destructive, is vital to the ecosystem. It allows light to penetrate, new vegetation to grow, and opens up spaces for smaller animals. In the arid environment of Luangwa, survival demands more than strength, and the elephants know it. With their wide ears acting as veritable natural radiators, they can regulate their body temperature even under the scorching sun day. But it is in their trunks that they carry their most precious resource. With over 40,000 muscles, this multifunctional structure is used to smell, touch, eat, drink, and communicate. It is also how the young learn about the world, guided by the careful touches of the matriarchs. These leaders are the oldest females with decades of stored memories. They know every bend in the river, every ancient well, and every hidden danger. Under their guidance, the herd moves with precision, and even when drought turns the valley into a dusty desert, the elephants can dig deep, finding water. Over time, they have left their mark across the region. Trails have been opened in dense forests, seeds dispersed in unexpected places. They do not just live here, they keep the system functioning. Recent studies show that Luangwa's elephants are capable of distinguishing dozens of sounds with extreme precision. In addition, they use low-frequency sound waves, inaudible to us, to communicate over long distances, up to 6 miles. It is in this silent and invisible way that the groups remain connected even when they are far apart. The The social structure is deeply complex. The curious and clumsy calves follow the adults on long journeys, learning with every step. Despite their ecological importance and impressive skills, these giants face threats. In many parts of Africa, elephant numbers have plummeted. But in the Luangwa Valley, the story is not yet over. Patrols, GPS tracking, and collaboration with local communities have helped keep the groups active. As the sun disappears behind the escarpment and the sounds of the valley change their tone, the elephants gather in compact groups, like families united against adversity. And even when everything seems harsh, they continue walking, step by step, trusting in the memory, leadership, and collective instinct that has kept them standing. The scarce water of the Luangwa River recedes as the dry season advances. In the remaining shallow pools, a group of rounded, motionless shapes seems to doze under the intense sunday. But do not be deceived by their peaceful appearance. There, partly submerged, are the hippos, the silent guardians of the shallows. During the day, they remain almost immobile, with only their nostrils, eyes, and ears protruding from the muddy water. This posture has a clear function: to protect their sensitive skin from the intense solar radiation. To do this, the bodies of these giants produce a reddish mucus, often mistaken for sweat or blood. It is a biological fluid with antibacterial properties that acts as a natural sunscreen, a unique adaptation among mammals. Standing nearly 6 feet tall and up to 13 feet long, a mature male can weigh up to 4,000 pounds. Despite its impressive weight, its movement in the water is not traditional swimming. It walks or bounces along the riverbed, propelling its body with gentle but firm movements. Its agility in the water is surprising, but it is out of the water where the hippo truly reveals its brute strength. With lips up to 27 inches wide, they feed on low grasses, cutting the vegetation close to the ground. A hippo can consume up to 88 pounds of grass in a single night and travel up to 5 miles to find food. This solitary and methodical behavior allows for maximum use of the pastures without the need to move in groups. Although they are herbivores, hippos possess a powerful jaw with canines that can reach 20 inches in length, and a mouth that opens to an angle of over 150 degrees. These natural weapons are not used for eating, but in territorial disputes, especially between males. The confrontations are fierce and, in some cases, lethal. Each group consists of a dominant male, several females, and their offspring. The underwater territory is fiercely defended. The bellow of a hippo can be heard from over half a mile away, echoing as a warning to any intruder. The reproductive cycle is also adapted to the aquatic environment. Mating and birth often take place in the water. Gestation lasts about 8 months, and the calves are born weighing between 55 and 100 pounds. Interestingly, they can suckle both underwater and on land. During their first year of life, they are fiercely protected by their mothers, who do not hesitate to confront threats. Despite their passive appearance, hippos have an unpredictable temperament. They are responsible for more human fatalities in Africa than any other large mammal. Beyond its individual power, the hippo plays a vital ecological role. As it moves between land and water, it transports nutrients. In Luangwa, the hippo population remains relatively stable, thanks to the presence of natural lagoons like Luangwa and Kapamba. And even when the water disappears and the mud hardens, the hippos remain silent, solid, ancient. Under the fiery sun, bathing in the cool stream is a rare pleasure for the herd. But this peaceful moment is soon over. Other rulers have arrived, claiming the riverbank cold and silent. No one dares to challenge that power. Except one, it has never known fear. A gentle nudge, then another. Confidence grows with a touch of arrogance. Together, they reclaim the riverbank inch by inch. And as the water falls silent once more, they quietly savor their victory, in the very place where fear once reigned. The still water is deceptive. At first glance, nothing moves, but amid the distorted reflections of the sky and vegetation bordering the shallow channels, something is watching. Immobile, patient, almost imperceptible, it is the Nile crocodile, the absolute master of the art of ambush. Reaching up to 20 feet in length and weighing over 1,500 pounds, it is Africa's largest reptile. But its power lies not only in its size, but in how it uses the environment to its advantage. Its flattened body, raised eyes, and nostrils located on top of its head allow it to remain almost completely submerged, invisible to its prey. And when it decides to strike, the moment is lethal. An explosive launch, a devastating bite, and the story is over. Its bite force is one of the greatest ever recorded in the animal kingdom, around 5,000 pounds of force, enough to crush thick bones with ease. Its strategy does not depend on speed, but on precision. It does not need to chase anyone. It waits, and when it acts, it all happens in silence. Although its main diet consists of fish, the Nile crocodile is an opportunistic predator. It preys on water birds, small and medium-sized mammals, other reptiles, and when necessary, even members of its own species. On the sandbanks of the Luangwa and Kapamba lagoons, it reigns supreme, dominating the shallows with authority. Despite being a fearsome hunter, there is a surprising aspect to the crocodile's life: its parental care. However, the mortality rate for the young is very high. Predatory birds, large fish, and even other crocodiles are constant risks. With a lifespan that can exceed 60 years in the wild, the Nile crocodile is the embodiment of adaptation. It has survived for millions of years, crossing geological eras and maintaining its strategies almost unchanged. In South Luangwa, the stability of its population is still possible thanks to the presence of relatively conserved aquatic ecosystems. The water's surface is unbroken, deceptively calm. But beneath that stillness, a primal killing machine is counting every breath of its prey. For the crocodile, time is meaningless. It can wait for hours, even days, as motionless as a rotting log, a part of the river itself. It does not hunt with speed. It hunts with the patience of millions of years of evolution. And when the young antelope, driven by thirst, lowers its head to the water, it unwittingly steps into the domain of death. An explosion from the shadows, a snap that shatters the silence. The game is over before it has even begun. During severe droughts, competition for territory becomes even more intense, and any carelessness can be fatal, even for predators. At dusk, when the heat begins to subside and the animals approach the banks to quench their thirst, the crocodile remains still. The light reflects off its scaly skin as if it were a wet rock. And only when the prey bends down, distracted, does it transform from shadow to attack. As the afternoon heat begins to fade and the sky turns golden over the Luangwa savanna, a different kind of silence takes over. It is not the end of activity, but the prelude to something greater. The sounds diminish, the movements cease, and attention spreads like a hot breeze. It is then that it appears, the lion. Without noise, its presence alters the behavior around it. There is no haste in its steps, nor any need to demonstrate its power. The others simply know. The territory it walks on is its own, and the silence of the savanna bows to its authority. In the heart of Luangwa, lions still form stable populations, distributed in cohesive family groups known as prides. Each group is led by one or more experienced lionesses, responsible for hunting and caring for the young. The adult males defend the territory, ward off rivals, and ensure the continuity of the lineage. It is a society where every function has value, and none is superfluous. The lionesses are innate hunters. At night, they use the darkness as their ally. Their vision is 6 times more sensitive than a human's in low light, and their hearing detects movements from hundreds of yards away. The attack is coordinated. While one takes a frontal position, the others circle around the flanks. By the time the target realizes, it is too late. The speed of the attack is impressive. A charging lion can reach 50 miles per hour with leaps exceeding 36 feet. But success is not guaranteed. Studies show that only about 25 to 30% of hunts end successfully. The energy cost is high, and every mistake is paid for. During the day, the group rests, sheltering in the shade of low trees or among rock formations. The heat of the valley demands energy conservation. The cubs play, learning by observation and gradually trying out the movements they will one day use for real. The females surround them with constant attention, as any lapse can be fatal. However, the stability of these groups depends on fragile conditions. In the last 30 years, the lion population in Africa has declined by over 40%. According to recent data, only between 20,000 and 25,000 individuals remain in the wild. In South Luangwa, the outlook is more hopeful. Conservation and anti-poaching efforts have allowed groups like the old Big Pride, which once had over 30 individuals, to maintain their descendants. The Muamba and Sefu areas are home to lineages that have survived the fragmentation of the original group. The new formations still exhibit the same skills, the same silent hierarchy. The lion is not just a predator, it is a symbol of ecological balance. Its presence regulates populations, prevents imbalances, and keeps the savanna moving in harmony. And as the sun bids farewell to the savanna, the landscape takes on another color. The shadows lengthen, the crickets intensify their sound, and the lions rise, leaving their rest behind. They walk among the tall grass with the silence of a ghost, but with the impact of a thunderclap. Because there, in the heart of Luangwa, the night belongs to them. As the first rays of sun touch the tops of Luangwa's dry trees, a harsh and unmistakable sound breaks the morning silence. It is not a roar nor a blast. It is the alarm call of a chakma baboon, the awakening of one of the most intelligent societies on the African savanna. From the highest branches to the rocky slopes, the groups organize with surprising efficiency. They consist of 20 to 80 individuals, and each member knows its place in this complex hierarchy. The adult males, which can stand over 4 feet tall and weigh up to 88 pounds, stand out in both size and function. They lead, protect, and often decide the direction the group should take. The smaller and more agile females maintain the group's cohesion through strong social bonds. Grooming each other, caring for the young, and sharing food are not just affectionate gestures, but survival strategies. Their coat, usually grey-brown with thicker areas on the nape, blends in with the reddish earth and the exposed rocks of the hills. Natural camouflage. During the dry season, the groups migrate to higher areas where visibility is better and the more rugged terrain favors vigilance. In the rainy season, they descend in search of fruiting trees and denser vegetation, especially along the Luangwa River. The diet of these primates is a true testament to their flexibility. They are omnivores, and that gives them an advantage in any circumstance. They consume roots, shoots, seeds, fruits, insects, bird eggs, and even small vertebrates. This versatility allows them to overcome periods of scarcity with relative stability. But the strength of the chakma baboon lies in its ability to communicate. They use over 30 different vocalizations combined with precise facial expressions and body postures. These signals serve to warn of dangers, coordinate movements, and express emotions. Recent studies show that the body language of the chakma changes depending on the terrain, social relationships, and the context of risk. In times of danger, the males can join forces in a collective response. They have been observed confronting larger predators to protect the young, throwing stones, baring their teeth, or emitting deep, threatening sounds. It is not their individual strength that makes them formidable, but their ability to act as a coordinated unit. At dusk, the sounds of the group diminish. The chakma baboons once again climb to the highest branches, where they spend the night. It is there that the young huddle, protected among the adults. The shadows grow, but the organization remains. And at the next dawn, the cycle begins again. The chakma baboon is not just a resilient primate. It is an architect of the group, a strategist of the jungle. Among the high and rugged slopes of the Mshinga escarpment, where the ground is dry and the vegetation sparse, a group of agile shapes moves through the branches. They are the vervet monkeys, small, quick, and extremely alert. Here, where life demands instant decisions, every look, every gesture, every sound can be the difference between life and death. With their silver-gray fur and dark faces, vervet monkeys are almost unnoticeable in the diffuse light of the trees and the tangled branches. But behind this description lies a complex society. They live in groups of 20 to over 50 individuals, where order is maintained by a clear hierarchy. This social behavior is supported by one of the most complex communication systems among non-human primates. More than 60 different gestures and 36 vocalizations make up their vocabulary, and each sound carries a specific message. Group members recognize each other by their calls alone, and this maintains cohesion even in situations of dispersal. During the day, vervet monkeys explore the ground for food, moving between clearings and shaded areas. They are omnivores. Leaves, fruits, flowers, eggs, insects, and small vertebrates make up their diet. This variety allows them to adapt to different seasons, overcoming periods of scarcity with opportunistic choices. But the ground presents risks, so vigilance is constant. While part of the group feeds, others watch. The highest positions are occupied by sentinels who watch over every angle. At the slightest strange sound, the flapping of an eagle's wings or the rustle of leaves in the distance, the group reacts instantly. In a matter of seconds, they are back in the trees, out of reach of predators. At dusk, the group retreats to the treetops, usually in trees with branches about 23 feet above the ground. There, they rest in a tight formation, protecting the youngest and maintaining organization. Although there are no exact statistics on the number of vervet groups in South Luangwa, field observations suggest their presence is stable. But do not be fooled. Behind their curious appearance and small size is a mind that never stops working. Vervet monkeys are masters of anticipation. They know when to move, what to avoid, how to survive. In the nature of Luangwa, where strength, size, and dominance often define the main characters, the vervet monkey occupies a unique place. Not by intimidation, but by attention. Not by force, but by strategy. And in the end, that is all they need. The dust rises gently in the distance, and the muffled sound of hundreds of synchronized steps marks the rhythm of the savannah. Under the harsh sun of the Luangwa Valley, one of the most imposing groups of the African wild emerges, the Cape buffalo. From a distance, they look like a single moving mass, but up close, one recognizes the complexity of their social structure. The robust males, weighing nearly a ton and standing over 5.5 feet at the shoulder, walk steadily on the flanks of the herd. The females move in small family groups, guiding the collective decisions with almost imperceptible gestures. Every movement is coordinated. Every stop has a reason. In this large group, decisions are not made by force, but by consensus. An often observed behavior is the so-called directional voting. Direction they wish to go. The majority decides the course, and then, as if following a silent signal, the entire herd sets off together. The diet of the Cape buffalo is based almost exclusively on grass. They are excellent grazers, and that makes them dependent on green areas. During the rainy season, the abundance allows for less movement, but in the dry season, they are forced to approach the Luangwa River, where vegetation still persists. The proud roars echo, believing victory is firmly in their claws. A young buffalo has been separated from the herd, and the hunt seems to be nearing its end. But they have made a fatal mistake. They have underestimated the fury of a family. They stop, turning as one. Hundreds of curved horns, like scythes, are now pointed at their enemy. The fear in the prey's eyes has vanished, replaced by a collective rage. Now, the hunters have become the hunted. The savannah is about to witness a brutal truth. Sometimes the most terrifying thing is not the roar of the ruler, but the silence of those who refuse to back down. And even when faced with this risk, they do not back down. They cross in groups, protecting the youngest among the larger bodies. It is one of the few species that can make a crocodile hesitate. And if a predator dares to attack a calf, the response can be brutal. Scenes have been recorded in which the entire herd turns against the attacker, forcing even experienced lions to retreat. But this species does not live by strength alone. Its internal organization is surprising. The older males, often called lone generals, live in separate groups, known as bachelor groups. Despite not being a carnivore, the Cape buffalo is often called the Black Death. This nickname comes from its unpredictable behavior. When it feels threatened, it does not flee, it confronts. And few predators want to stand in the way of a group that decides to counterattack with all its might. In the Luangwa Valley, life is harsh, resources are limited, and competition is constant. But the Cape buffalo shows that true strength can come from unity, collective strategy, and the willingness to protect one's own. At dusk, when the golden light bathes the savanna and the sounds of the night begin to emerge, the herd continues its journey. Slowly but decisively. An ancient force that cuts through time with heavy, sure steps. In Luangwa, every animal has a role, every trail tells a story, and every day lived is a victory over scarcity, heat, and constant danger. There is no room for weakness. Only those who know how to listen to the earth, follow the herd, act at the right moment, or simply wait in silence, survive. The sharp strategy of the lion, the vigilance of the vervet monkey, to the collective power of the buffalo. The savanna vibrates with a primal force that defies time. It is in this wild context, shaped over millennia, that life continues not as a spectacle, but as an essence. The Aurora mangrove forest is also one of the last refuges of the Luzon bleeding heart dove, a pigeon species endemic to the island of Luzon. This bird, marked by a red patch on its breast that resembles a bleeding heart, sings a mournful tune as it faces extinction due to habitat loss. The Aurora mangrove forest acts as an important carbon sink. These mangrove forests not only shield the coast from tsunamis, but also reduce the force of typhoons by 60 to 80%, acting as a living shield for the vulnerable coastal communities. The Aurora mangrove ecosystem, a lush green labyrinth, holds extraordinary stories of survival. Here, the mudskipper, a unique amphibious fish, demonstrates the remarkable adaptability and evolution of nature. Amidst the mudflats and the intertwined mangrove roots, the mud skipper is the embodiment of a conqueror standing on the boundary between the sea and the land. The mud skipper carries the legacy of an extraordinary evolutionary journey over millions of years. Its ancestors transitioned from a fully aquatic life to a rare amphibious lifestyle. The mud skipper has the ability to absorb oxygen through its skin and the lining of its mouth, allowing it to survive in the oxygen-poor environment of the mudflats. Not only that, they also carry natural oxygen tanks. Before coming ashore, they fill their gill chambers with water. This water, along with the dissolved oxygen in it, allows them to breathe even while on land for an extended period. Essentially, they are explorers carrying their own scuba gear. The Aurora mangrove forest, a vibrant tableau of life, is also a refuge for the long-tailed macaque. With its swift currents and muddy terrain, the mangrove forest creates the perfect stage for this primate to hone its survival skills. The mangrove roots that rise above the water like outstretched arms help the monkeys to avoid threats from snakes or crocodiles. Living in troops of 10 to 30 individuals, the long-tailed macaque maintains a complex social structure with well-defined roles and relationships. They are particularly fond of crustaceans such as crabs and shrimp, and can even catch small fish. Their dexterous hands are effective tools for breaking crab shells or extracting food from the smallest crevices in the tree roots. At the same time, their accidental dropping of seeds during their movements helps to regenerate the mangrove forest, making them natural seed dispersers. The Aurora mangrove ecosystem, with its complex network of intertwined roots, holds the mysterious stories of the fierce vitality of nature. Hidden in the mud and the quiet creeks, the water monitor moves like a silent ruler of this land. Millions of years ago, the ancestors of these lizards began their journey of adapting to various environments. Over time, the water monitor has evolved to thrive in diverse ecosystems, from dense jungles to brackish waters. Its hunting tactic reveals the sophistication of a master predator. Hidden underwater or in the mud, it waits for the perfect moment to strike, launching a lightning-fast snap with a powerful bite. However, the water monitor is not just a formidable predator. It plays a crucial role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. As a scavenger, it helps to remove animal carcasses from the environment, reducing the spread of disease and ensuring the mangrove forest remains healthy. Beyond the land, the Philippine Sea, with its over 7,641 islands scattered across the Pacific, hides a mysterious and vibrant underwater world. Here, the sandy seabed and the coral reefs form the crucial pieces of a rich and enchanting marine tapestry. The tropical climate of the Philippines, with a stable sea temperature of 77 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, provides ideal conditions for coral to grow. The Pacific Ocean currents bring nutrient-rich waters, breathing life into the coral reefs. Each square feet of coral reef can contain hundreds of species, turning these underwater landscapes into the rainforests of the sea. In the vastness of the ocean, the Verde Island Passage stands as a marine corridor and a living museum of life. Dubbed the center of marine biodiversity in the world, its coral reef ecosystem is where nature dons its most brilliant attire. The coral reefs of the Verde Island Passage stretch to the south of Luzon, between Batangas and Mindoro, nestled in the Coral Triangle. The coral reefs of the Philippines have a total area of 22,400 miles, accounting for over 9% of the global coral reef area. The Verde Island Passage alone, with over 300 coral species and 800 fish species, is not just a residence but also an important stopover for migrating marine creatures. If the ocean is the heart of our planet, then the Verde Island Passage is one of its most powerful beats, nurturing life for the entire world. The coral reefs here are home to over 500 species of coral and thousands of species of fish. Among them, the giant clam stands out as a biological island, providing shelter and food for countless smaller creatures. This giant creature, with a length of up to 4 feet and a weight of over 440 pounds, is a living wonder and a testament to the perfect harmony between life and its environment. And they are not just giants, but also centenarian witnesses of the ocean. The giant clam can live for over 100 years, silently recording the changes of the coral reef through many human generations. Each growth ring on their shell is a diary page of the ocean's history. Inside its tissues, the tiny zooxanthellae algae perform photosynthesis, converting sunlight into energy that not only nourishes the algae but also allows the giant clam to grow to its impressive size. Although immobile, the giant clam uses sophisticated survival strategies. It opens its shell to filter hundreds of gallons of water per day, absorbing plankton and small nutrient particles. When it senses danger, its shell snaps shut with incredible speed, forming an impenetrable fortress. However, the overharvesting for its valuable shell and meat has pushed this species onto the vulnerable list of the IUCN. Climate change, with the acidification of the ocean and the rising water temperatures, has further reduced their ability to reproduce and grow. In the deep blue waters, the ocean sunfish glides slowly, occasionally surfacing as if sunbathing. This behavior not only helps to regulate its body temperature, but also allows seabirds and small fish to remove parasites from its skin. With its enormous size, up to 10 feet long and weighing over 5,000 pounds, the ocean sunfish seems to be a living embodiment of time. On this stage, the whale shark takes center stage, captivating with its enormous size and majestic presence. As the largest fish in the world, reaching lengths of up to 40 feet and weighing up to about 44,000 pounds, the whale shark is the embodiment of the greatness that nature bestows upon the marine ecosystems. The lineage of the whale shark extends back millions of years, dating back to a time when the oceans were still pristine and chaotic. Unique evolutionary traits, such as a wide mouth for filtering plankton and fish eggs, have allowed it to adapt perfectly to the tropical marine environment. In the Verde Island Passage, the millions of plankton and fish eggs that float in these waters provide an ideal food source for this gentle giant. With a distribution that spans across the warm oceans of the world, the whale shark is most concentrated in nutrient-rich areas like Donsol and Sorsogon. Here, they can easily access the abundant food sources, maintaining their incredible size and strength. The deep waters of the Verde Island Passage, likened to a living watercolor painting, are home to these gentle giants. Gliding with ease, the whale sharks move through the ocean like living battleships, massive but graceful. Their 4-inch thick skin, adorned with white patterns that resemble a star map, is not just a natural beauty, but also a sturdy shield. Beneath the crystal-clear waters of the Verde Island Passage, the whale shark employs a unique and elegant feeding technique. Opening their mouths up to 5 feet wide like giant caverns, they filter millions of gallons of seawater each day. The tiny plankton, fish eggs, and other small marine organisms are trapped by their sophisticated filtration system, while the water exits through their gills. The whale shark's journey is rhythmic and energy efficient. Swimming at a slow pace of only 3 miles per hour, they can travel thousands of miles each year in search of nutrient-rich waters. The whale shark does not rely on predatory strength, but on patience to feed. In doing so, they help to prevent the blooming of plankton, maintain the oxygen levels in the water, and protect other marine species. However, their beauty and size cannot shield the whale shark from threats. Pollution, illegal fishing, and collisions with ships have significantly reduced their numbers. According to a 2023 report by the IUCN, the whale shark is now classified as endangered. The dugong, belonging to the order Sirenia, is one of the remaining jewels of the ocean. With its slow, graceful movements, elongated body, and contemplative eyes, the dugong seems to carry within it the essence of a distant past. The IUCN has classified this species as vulnerable due to a significant decline in its population. The dugong is the only marine mammal that feeds exclusively on seagrass, using its wide, flexible snout to uproot patches of seagrass, leaving feeding trails across the ocean floor. The seagrass meadows are not only the dugong's sole source of nutrition, but are also crucial for maintaining marine biodiversity. Their feeding process, which takes hours each day, promotes the growth and regeneration of the seagrass in a natural way. The role of the dugong in the ecosystem is irreplaceable. They are the gardeners of the sea, sustaining life and creating habitats for many species of fish, crustaceans, and invertebrates. The Verde Island Coral Reef, a vibrant intersection of color and life, is home to a tiny but extremely powerful creature, the blue-ringed octopus. With its glowing blue rings that resemble a living masterpiece of nature, this creature is not just a testament to the wonders of the ocean, but also a symbol of latent power. The Verde Island Coral Reef, with a depth of 1.5 to 160 feet, provides the perfect environment for the blue-ringed octopus to hide and hunt. The rock crevices, the seagrass meadows, and the coral reefs provide both shelter and the opportunity to display its special camouflage skills. Using specialized chromatophore cells, it can change its color to blend in with its surroundings, making it almost invisible to its enemies. When threatened, its vibrant blue rings light up brilliantly, serving as an unmistakable warning signal. The blue-ringed octopus uses a hunting strategy that is a perfect combination of speed and precision. With its sharp beak, it injects a highly potent neurotoxin into its prey. This mixture of toxins, many times more powerful than cyanide, can cause paralysis and respiratory arrest in just a few minutes. And the most frightening thing is that there is currently no antidote. Its bite is often painless, so the victim may not realize they have been attacked until it is too late. Those beautiful blue rings are not an invitation, but a deadly warning. In the Verde Island coral reef ecosystem, it plays a crucial role in controlling the population of small crustaceans, maintaining ecological balance. Hidden in the soft sand and the muddy seabed beneath the Verde Island coral reef, the mimic octopus appears as a master artist of the art of camouflage. This octopus is the embodiment of creativity and sophistication in nature. Each movement, each transformation of its shape is like a complexly choreographed dance. The mimic octopus has evolved over millions of years to perfect its ability to imitate other animals. From the venomous sea snakes and the drifting jellyfish to the graceful stingrays, it can transform into whatever it needs to ensure its survival. In the coral reef ecosystem, where every corner holds a potential danger, this skill is the key to its survival. This unique creature usually resides at depths of 6 to 130 feet in areas where sand and mud blend seamlessly. With tentacles 23 to 26 inches long, the mimic octopus glides gently over the ocean floor in search of small prey like crabs and shrimp. With a powerful jet of water, it blows away the sand to reveal the hidden prey, then quickly captures it with remarkable precision. In the depths of the Verde Island coral reef, A tiny but magical creature lives quietly, blending in with the soft coral branches. The pygmy seahorse, also known as the Bargibant seahorse, is so perfectly adapted, it seems to have been born from the ocean's vivid and dreamy imagination. At only about 0.8 inches long, this seahorse is almost invisible in its habitat. Its bumpy skin, adorned with small tubercles, mirrors the texture of the Muracella coral it inhabits. This camouflage not only provides them with absolute protection from their enemies, but also creates an astonishing harmony with their surroundings. Over millions of years of evolution, the pygmy seahorse has developed a compact body, a unique skeletal structure, and a color that perfectly matches the host coral. The habitat of this remarkable creature is the pristine coral reefs at depths of 52 to 130 feet. The pygmy seahorse is not just a testament to the vibrant ecosystem, but also plays a crucial role in maintaining the ecological balance. By feeding on plankton, they help to control these populations and serve as an essential link in the ocean's food chain. However, the survival of this tiny seahorse is under serious threat. The harvesting of coral, climate change, and marine pollution are seriously degrading their habitat. According to the IUCN 2023, the pygmy seahorse is classified as near threatened. Amidst the crystal-clear waters of the Verde Island coral reef, a remarkable creature drifts gracefully, holding the secrets of millions of years of evolution. The cuttlefish of the order Cepiida is the embodiment of intelligence and the art of adaptation. With its lightning-fast, color-changing ability and unique hunting strategies, it is one of the ocean's master chameleons. The cuttlefish has an ancient evolutionary history, sharing an ancestor with the octopus and the squid. Over millions of years, it has evolved into a species with an extremely large brain, ranking it among the most intelligent invertebrates. Inside its body, the cuttlebone provides buoyancy control, allowing it to position itself perfectly in the water column. The cuttlefish is both cunning and beautiful. Their ability to change color is not just camouflage, but a complex visual language. They can create hypnotic, rippling patterns to disorient their prey, or display different color patterns on two halves of their body at the same time, one half to court a potential mate, the other to warn off an approaching rival. It is a dance of intellect played out on their very skin. Its specialized chromatophore cells allow it to change its body color and pattern to blend in with its surroundings. This ability is not just a defensive mechanism against its enemies, but also a sophisticated method of communicating with its own kind. When hunting, the cuttlefish uses a perfect strategy. It silently approaches its prey, using its body color to conceal its intentions. At the right distance, it launches its powerful tentacles like arrows from the shadows, catching shrimp, small fish, or crustaceans with unparalleled precision. When threatened, its ink sac becomes a secret weapon, releasing a cloud of black ink to confuse its enemy and create an opportunity to escape. Besides being skilled hunters, cuttlefish play an important role in the ecosystem. They help to regulate the populations of smaller species, while also serving as an important food source for sharks and other large predators. The Verde Island coral reef, a precious gem in the heart of the ocean, is the embodiment of the complex connections between marine species. Known as one of the most biodiverse ecosystems in the world, this coral reef is like a vibrant symphony of symbiotic relationships. In the soft coral tissues, the coral polyps and the zooxanthellae algae share a deep bond. The algae, powered by sunlight, provide energy through photosynthesis, nourishing the coral and allowing them to grow into solid reef structures. In return, the coral provides the algae with a safe refuge and an abundant supply of carbon dioxide, which is essential for their photosynthesis. However, this partnership is very fragile to climate change. Just a 1 to 2 degree Fahrenheit rise in ocean temperature can cause coral bleaching, leaving the entire ecosystem vulnerable to degradation. Not far from the vibrant coral reefs, the clownfish and the sea anemone cooperate like loyal companions. The sea anemone, with its venomous tentacles, protects the clownfish from its enemies, while the clownfish provides leftover food in return. Over 50 million years ago, the ancestors of the clownfish began their evolutionary journey in the tropical seas. Over millions of years, they have developed a unique adaptation, a special layer of mucus that protects them from the anemone's toxins. This remarkable evolutionary trait has allowed them to establish a sustainable symbiotic relationship with the anemone, ensuring their mutual survival and benefit. The sea anemone, such as the Heteractis magnifica, serves as an ideal refuge, shielding the clownfish from predators like the reef shark and the lionfish. In return, the clownfish cleans the anemone and brings it leftover food, fostering a mutually beneficial relationship. The behavior of the clownfish is bold and strategic. They often swim far from the anemone, creating a spectacle that attracts predators. In a flash, they dash back into the anemone's poisonous tentacles, leaving the enemy confused and vulnerable to the anemone's venom. In the vast ecosystem of Verde Island, the clownfish act as natural guardians, sustaining the life and biodiversity of the coral reefs. In the magnificent kingdom of the Verde Island coral reef, a unique symbiotic story unfolds daily between the hermit crab and the sea anemone. The hermit crab, with its soft and vulnerable body, is a stark contrast to the tough exterior of many other crab species. Without a natural hard shell to protect its entire body, it must search for abandoned snail shells. These borrowed shells become mobile homes, shielding the hermit crab from predators. But their survival strategy does not stop at borrowing shells. The hermit crab also carries a sea anemone on its back, a formidable ally in its journey. The sea anemone, though seemingly simple with its soft tentacles, is a very effective predator. By living in symbiosis with the hermit crab, the sea anemone gains the ability to move to food-rich areas, while also being protected from predators like the starfish. At the Verde Island coral reef, the hermit crab and the sea anemone are often found in shallow waters at depths of 6 to 100 feet. Their symbiosis is not just accidental, but a deliberate choice, fine-tuned based on chemical signals. This mutually beneficial relationship allows both species to thrive in the challenging and competitive marine environment. The hermit crab is also known for its meticulous shell-swapping behavior, a crucial skill as its body grows. When moving to a new home, they carefully transfer their anemone, ensuring the continuity of the symbiotic relationship. However, the Philippines, with its pristine natural beauty, is grappling with unprecedented challenges. The vibrant nature of the Philippines, its coral reefs, rainforests, and vast coastlines, is increasingly under pressure from environmental threats and human activities. Climate change is disrupting the fragile balance of the ecosystems, with the average temperature having risen by 1.3 degrees Fahrenheit over the past century, and typhoons becoming more severe. The Verde Island Passage, a haven of marine biodiversity, is silently alarming as more than 40% of its coral reefs have been bleached. On land, deforestation and illegal logging are carving deep wounds into the tropical landscape. From Palawan to the Sierra Madre, the vast primary forests that once covered over 27 million acres have been reduced to less than 6.9 million acres. Each year, about 47,000 acres of forest are lost, leaving animals like the eagle and the Philippine tarsier with a shrinking chance of survival. Beneath the ocean, plastic pollution acts as an invisible enemy. With about 5.9 billion pounds of plastic waste generated annually, the Philippines is ranked as one of the largest contributors to ocean plastic pollution. Marine creatures, from whales to pygmy seahorses, are frequently harmed by plastic debris. The phenomenon of coral bleaching continues to be a significant threat. As the corals die, the entire food chain that they support begins to collapse. The ecosystems of the Philippines are not just a national treasure, they are a global heritage. Protecting them is not just about ensuring the survival of millions of species, but also a solemn promise to future generations. The vast tropical forests of the Philippines, once ravaged by deforestation, are now experiencing a revival. Through the National Greening Program, over 4.6 million acres of forest have been restored, breathing life back into the country's green lung. Offshore, the Verde Island Passage is reasserting its status as a center of marine biodiversity as many coral reefs have been regenerated. The Coral Triangle Initiative has restored over 2.5 square miles of coral reefs, paving the way for thousands of fish and marine creatures to return. In areas like Palawan, the dugong and the Philippine crocodile are being protected through patrols and community education programs. The local communities are no longer bystanders. They have become the first line of defense, collaborating with conservation organizations to protect the ecosystem. The story of conservation in the Philippines extends beyond its national borders. It is a powerful reminder that even the smallest actions can make a significant difference. The journey to preserve the natural heritage of the Philippines depends on a collective effort. Raising awareness about the importance of protecting wildlife and their habitats is essential. It starts with small actions. reducing plastic use, supporting sustainable products, and participating in reforestation efforts. Every action you take is a crucial link in preserving the pristine beauty and biodiversity of the Philippines for future generations. Beneath the vast skies of southern Florida, a silent battle for survival unfolds each day. The blue eyes of a Florida panther track a white-tailed deer. The big cat glides among the mangrove trees like a stealthy phantom, waiting for the perfect moment to ambush its prey. Each step it takes is also a step against the encroachment of urbanization, as today only just over 100 individuals remain in the wild. In the brackish waters, an American alligator moves in silence, but the currents are no longer what they were. Rising sea levels have devastated the areas where they once bred. The Everglades, a land that gives life to an extraordinary biodiversity, is also a battlefield where precious creatures face the most brutal changes of the natural world. Woven with the ancient stories of nature, the Everglades is a place where every creature from the American alligator to the West Indian manatee exists in a slow but vibrant dance. Everglades National Park is one of the most unique ecosystems in the world. Established in 1947, this park protects over 2,300 square miles of land. The Everglades is the largest tropical wilderness in the United States and also the largest wilderness of any kind east of the Mississippi River. Overcoming all challenges, the park was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979. Its waters, like the arteries of the earth, were recognized by the Ramsar Convention as a wetland of international importance in 1987. The journey of the Everglades begins with an ancient geological story. It is a vast land lying on a bed of Miami limestone formed millions of years ago during the Pleistocene. Tiny marine organisms, corals, shells, and plankton died and left behind their sediments like silent pieces, building the skeleton of this land. Unlike most national parks that protect geographic formations, Everglades National Park was created with a single mission: to preserve a fragile ecosystem. It is the most significant breeding ground for tropical wading birds in North America and contains the largest mangrove ecosystem in the Western Hemisphere. The park is home to 36 threatened or protected species, including the Florida panther, the American crocodile, and the West Indian manatee. The Everglades is also a haven for more than 350 species of birds, 300 species of fish, 40 species of mammals, and 50 species of reptiles. The freshwater sloughs and marl prairies, 2 of the 9 recognized ecosystems in the Everglades, silently weave their own rhythm of life. It all begins with the slow but constant movement of water, the essential element that shapes the identity of this land. In the freshwater sloughs, water flows gently from Lake Okeechobee southward at a rate of only 1/4 of a mile per day. From a distance, these waters may seem still, but they are in fact essential arteries that sustain the aquatic ecosystem, nurturing majestic plants like sawgrass, which can grow up to 6 feet tall. Conversely, the marl prairies tell a different story. These grasslands are seasonally flooded. Water seeps through the marl, creating a thin layer of water that lasts only a few months of the year. When the water recedes, periphyton, a mixture of algae and plankton clinging to the limestone, emerges and transforms into a grey sludge, a silent symbol of the approaching dry season. Both of these ecosystems are not just habitats. They also function as true natural reservoirs. They store water during the rainy season and release it gradually during the dry season. Thanks to this, the Everglades maintains its sweet flow and resists saltwater intrusion from the nearby ocean. Each slough, each prairie is an indispensable piece of the puzzle sustaining the lives of countless species. The abundance of fish, amphibians, and young birds in the swamps attracts many species of freshwater turtles and reptiles. Among them, the American alligator, Alligator mississippiensis, plays a crucial role. As a living icon of this ecosystem, the American alligator not only survives, but also maintains the natural balance. The flooded swamps and marl prairies are essential habitats where the American alligator thrives. Although once on the brink of extinction in the 20th century, this species was removed from the endangered species list in 1987. Thanks to active conservation efforts, the American alligator population has increased significantly, being more abundant in the Everglades than anywhere else in Florida. From once being considered a critical patient on the endangered species list, there are now over 1.25 million individuals in Florida alone. Adult male alligators can reach lengths of 13 to 15 feet, while females are smaller, reaching a maximum of 10 feet. However, in southern Florida, both sexes tend to be smaller, with a characteristically broad snout. The female alligator chooses high ground to build her nest, protecting her eggs from the floods that could destroy them in a matter of hours. The nest can be up to 3.5 feet high and is carefully guarded by the mother throughout the 58 to 63-day incubation period. In the early stages of life, the diet of an American alligator consists mainly of insects, small fish, and frogs. As they grow, alligators expand their menu. They hunt larger fish turtles, birds, and even small mammals. They often position themselves on the banks of freshwater sloughs or marl prairies, where they can remain motionless for more than 90% of the time. For larger prey, like the white-tailed deer or wild boar, the alligator uses its famous technique known as the death roll. They spin their bodies over and over, tearing apart and completely unbalancing the prey, leaving it no chance of escape. We have seen the American alligator as an apex predator, but its most crucial role is revealed when the dry season arrives. As the water levels in the swamps recede, alligators use their powerful snouts and tails to dig deep holes known as gator holes. These holes are not just a refuge for the alligator itself. When much of the Everglades dries up, they become the last oases, precious reservoirs of fresh water. Fish turtles, birds, and even mammals all come here to survive the harsh, dry season. In this way, the American alligator unwittingly becomes an ecosystem engineer. It not only hunts to survive, but it also shapes the habitat, becoming an unwilling guardian for dozens of other species. Without these engineers, life in the Everglades would struggle to survive the scorching summer months. Also, in these silent waters, the great blue heron spreads its wings like a living symbol of the Everglades ecosystem. Standing up to 4 feet tall with a wingspan of nearly 7 feet, it is the largest heron in North America. The fresh water sloughs, the natural channels where water flows slowly, are its ideal hunting grounds. When the rainy season ends and the marl prairies begin to crack from lack of water, the great blue heron moves to the few remaining wetlands where it patiently waits for its prey. Under the brilliant Everglades sun, the great blue heron stands tall like a motionless statue in the shallow water. Its long legs and waterproof plumage allow it to move easily through the freshwater sloughs and marl prairies without disturbing the environment. When a prey, be it a fish, an amphibian, or even a small mammal, glides by, the great blue heron reacts with a lightning-fast movement, launching its long neck and sharp bill into the water. It can catch its prey in just 1/10 of a second from detection, thanks to its extremely fast reflexes and absolute concentration. Thanks to this precise skill, the success rate of the great blue heron in the freshwater sloughs is between 60 and 70%, according to a 2023 report. Besides its role as a formidable predator, the great blue heron also plays an important part in maintaining ecological balance. By feeding on fish and amphibians, this species helps to control the populations of its prey, preventing an overabundance that could alter the dynamics of the ecosystem. Amidst the arid lands of the Everglades, the pinelands ecosystem emerges as a vibrant tableau. Although it occupies only 2% of the park's area, this ecosystem is one of the most important, protecting a unique biodiversity. The exposed limestone bedrock and extremely thin soil make the pinelands a real challenge for life. However, the South Florida/pines rise strongly from the cracks in the rock where water and soil accumulate in small pockets. Amidst the dense pine forests and the arid, rocky terrain of the pinelands ecosystem in the Everglades, the Florida panther moves with an agile body and a sharp gaze. This cat is one of the top predators in Florida and a unique subspecies of the cougar. The tall pines and the open spaces between them provide ideal hunting grounds where prey is abundant and easily accessible. However, not all areas of the Everglades are suitable for this species. As most of the park is covered by wetlands, the Florida panther population is reduced and mostly confined to higher areas like the pinelands. The Florida panther is currently on the endangered species list with an estimated population of only 120 to 230 individuals, primarily living in southern Florida. Previously, this species was distributed throughout the southeastern United States, but its current range occupies less than 5% of its original territory. Its primary prey is the white-tailed deer, which makes up 70 to 90% of its diet, thanks to the abundance of this species in the region. With silent steps and lightning speed, the panther approaches its target stealthily and takes it down with powerful pounces and a fatal bite. In the pinelands of the Everglades pineland ecosystem, the presence of the white-tailed deer dictates the rhythm of the entire ecosystem's balance. With over 30 million individuals distributed across the United States, this deer is an important part of the Everglades ecological picture. The white-tailed deer makes up 70 to 90% of the Florida panther's diet, playing a fundamental role in the food chain. A white-tailed deer consumes from 5 to 7 pounds of food per day. Its diet varies with the seasons, consisting mainly of shrubs, leaves, acorns, and sometimes grass. The white-tailed deer has a flexible social structure that changes with the seasons. During the rut, which typically occurs from October to December, males and females live separately and only meet to mate. After the breeding season, males are often solitary or in small groups, while females form groups of 3 to 5 individuals with their young. During the rut, males compete fiercely for the right to breed. Females tend to choose the strongest males with the largest antlers as mates. Antlers are not just an indicator of good health, but also of competitive ability. This process ensures a stronger next generation and a genetically healthy population in the long run. The dense pine forests of the pinelands stretch across the Everglades. From a distance, a steady tapping sound echoes like the heartbeat of the forest. This is not just a refuge, but also a hunting ground for woodpecker species of the family Pisidae. In the pinelands, the straight, rough trunks of the pine trees become homes and a source of food for woodpeckers. The red cockaded woodpecker, with its distinctive plumage, forages by drilling into the bark, creating crevices where insects hide. The pileated woodpecker, the largest woodpecker in the region, carves deep holes in the tree trunks, leaving behind unmistakable marks. Meanwhile, the red-bellied woodpecker moves nimbly among the thinner branches, searching for food among the leaves. The pinelands ecosystem provides not only food, but also essential spaces for woodpeckers to build their nests. The cavities they excavate are not just their breeding grounds, but also become shelters for other animal species. Under the clear skies of the Everglades, the northern mockingbird stands out with its elegant and vibrant appearance. Its silver-gray plumage allows it to blend into the arid landscape of the pinelands, but whenever it takes flight, its distinctive white wing patches shine brightly. With a wingspan of 12 to 15 inches and a weight of about 1.5 to 2 ounces, this bird has a small but extremely agile body. In the harsh environment of the pinelands, where sparse vegetation and limestone dominate the ground, the northern mockingbird finds its sustenance through a varied diet. The small insects hidden under the bark and the berries hanging among the branches are its source of energy to survive the harshest dry seasons. The northern mockingbird is known for its incredible ability to mimic the songs of other birds and the sounds of its environment, including car alarms or mobile phone ringtones. It is believed that this ability plays a fundamental role in establishing and defending territory, as well as in attracting mates. Males, which can mimic a greater variety of sounds, are often more successful in both defending their territory and attracting females. The mechanism behind this ability is based on the mockingbird's capacity to learn and remember sounds over long periods. Some individuals can mimic up to 200 different sounds, including the songs of at least 35 different species. Beneath the canopy of the pine trees, the common starling often appears like a vibrant flash of light. With its glossy black plumage that shimmers with purple and blue hues in the sunlight, this bird sparkles like a precious gem in nature. The common starling is typically an omnivore. From insects and small invertebrates to young mammals and the nestlings of other species, the starling takes advantage of any available prey. It often forages on the ground, especially in areas with sparse vegetation or open grasslands, where access to resources is easier. This species is known for its competitive behavior, especially during the breeding season. They can put pressure on smaller bird species by taking over their nests and eating their eggs. Also, in the pinelands ecosystem of the Everglades, the loggerhead shrike stands out as a small but skilled predator. With its strong hooked beak, this bird not only hunts insects and small birds, but also small mammals like mice. What is most characteristic is that the loggerhead shrike uses thorns or sharp twigs to impale its prey, creating a unique image reminiscent of natural coat hooks. In the vast expanse of the Everglades, where water flows slowly through endless swamps, the tropical hardwood hammocks appear as unique ecological islands. Only 1 to 3 feet above sea level, these dry lands are steadfast points amidst a sea of grass and seasonal water. Thanks to this elevation, they escape the prolonged floods, creating an ideal refuge for many unique species of flora and fauna. Beneath the canopy is another world. Dense shrubs and impenetrable thickets create a perfect sanctuary for the Florida black bear, the white-tailed deer, and especially the Florida panther. These animals find a sanctuary in the hammocks during the dry season, where water is scarce but shade is plentiful. Seen from the sky, these hammocks look like teardrops scattered amidst the slow flow of water, preserving life amidst the wild nature of the Everglades. Perhaps they are the tears of creation shed to preserve life in this landscape which, though seemingly desolate, is full of hope. Under the shade of the tropical hardwood hammocks, the Florida black bear finds refuge and an abundant source of food. This is a unique subspecies of the American black bear with an estimated population of about 4,000 individuals in Florida in 2023. Only a small fraction of these live in the Everglades. These dense tropical forests provide not only safe havens, but also important mating grounds. The vegetation of the tropical hardwood hammocks provides an abundant food source with broadleaf species like mahogany and southern live oak, creating a rich and stable environment year-round for the Florida black bear. In spring and summer, they search for insects and feed on succulent plants. When autumn arrives, their diet shifts to fruits and nuts, especially from the sable palm and wild olive. Thanks to its omnivorous diet, the Florida black bear plays an essential role in preserving plant diversity. In the ecosystem of the tropical hardwood hammocks, as it moves far from the parent plant, the bear disperses the seeds of more than 20 different species through its scat, thereby promoting the regeneration of the forest. Only in the tropical hardwood hammocks, the gray fox moves through the Everglades with remarkable agility and adaptability. It is the only canid whose natural range includes both North and South America. The gray fox possesses a compact and flexible body 31 to 44 inches long, including the tail, and weighing 8 to 15 pounds, allowing it to move easily through the dense forests. Its gray coat provides excellent camouflage in the low-light environment where the sun's rays barely penetrate the canopy. As an omnivore, the gray fox consumes a wide variety of food, including insects, small mammals like mice and squirrels, bird eggs, fruits, and edible tropical plants. In the summer, about 40% of its diet consists of insects and small mammals. Conversely, in the fall and winter, fruits and nuts make up to 60% of its food intake. One of the most remarkable features of the gray fox is its impressive tree climbing ability. Unlike most other canids, it can climb tree branches to escape larger predators like the Florida panther or the red wolf. This skill also allows it to access food sources high above, such as fruits and insects, giving it a significant advantage to survive and thrive in the challenging environment of the Everglades. From late winter to midsummer, the northern cardinal chooses the low bushes in the tropical hardwood hammocks to build its nest in safe places. The northern cardinal has entered its breeding season. The dense layers of canopy in these hammocks provide a perfect refuge, helping them protect their eggs and young from predators and harsh weather conditions. Under the shade of the tropical hardwood hammocks, the northern cardinal shines with its brilliant red plumage. The male, with its distinctive crest and a black mask around its bill, is 8 to 9 inches long and weighs 1.5 to 1.7 ounces. The female, in contrast, has a paler reddish-brown plumage, but with hints of red on her wings, tail and crest, giving her a subtle elegance. The northern cardinal is not only beautiful, but is also known for its powerful song, especially in the dense forests. As an omnivorous bird, the northern cardinal's diet includes seeds, fruits, and insects. About 70% of its diet consists of seeds and fruits, especially berries. During the breeding season, the northern cardinal increases its consumption of insects to ensure an adequate source of protein to feed its young. During that time, insects make up to 40% of its diet. Thanks to this behavior, the northern cardinal contributed to a 20% reduction in harmful insect populations in 2024, thereby helping to protect the vegetation and maintain the stability of the ecosystem. The dense forests of the tropical hardwood hammocks also provide shelter and ideal nesting sites for the southern bald eagle. In the dense forests of the tropical hardwood hammocks, the southern bald eagle often builds its nest in tall, sturdy trees like oaks and palms. The nests are impressive structures that can weigh hundreds of pounds and are reused for many years, becoming a symbol of resilience in the wild. In the tropical forests of the tropical hardwood hammocks, where lagoons, swamps and streams are interspersed, the southern bald eagle finds the perfect environment for hunting. It is a large bird of prey with a wingspan of 6 to 7.5 feet and a weight of 8 to 14 pounds. As a sea eagle, its diet is primarily based on fish, which makes up 60 to 90% of its food intake. Besides fish, it also hunts birds and small mammals and sometimes does not hesitate to eat carrion. In the darkness of the tropical hardwood hammocks at night, the unmistakable hoot of the barred owl rings out. It is a distinctive sound that many remember as "Who cooks for you, who cooks for you all?" Its call can be heard up to half a mile through the dense forest, marking its territory and serving as a means of communication with its mate. The barred owl is a nocturnal predator with large eyes that allow it to see clearly in the darkness under the dense canopy. Its silent flight combined with its exceptional vision allows it to hunt without being detected. As we venture deeper into the Cypress Dome ecosystem, the landscape of the Everglades unfolds like a masterpiece of nature, with cypress forests stretching as far as the eye can see. This is one of the most important wetlands in the region, where the calm, stable water allows the cypress trees to thrive. The dome cypresses grow in clusters, with the tallest trees in the center and smaller ones towards the edges, creating a characteristic dome shape. The tall cypress trees are also nesting sites for many bird species, forming a vibrant ecosystem. At their base, mammals find safe shelter, completing a picture of biodiversity where every creature contributes to the balance of the natural environment. Amidst the vast swamps and slow-moving streams of the Cypress Dome ecosystem in the Everglades, the river otter finds its ideal home. In this environment, the calm waters and dense vegetation form a network of wetlands where these otters can easily hide and hunt without being seen. Under the water's surface, they glide through narrow channels and flooded grasslands in search of food, mainly fish and other aquatic species. River otters are not just solitary creatures. They also form small groups of 2 to 5 individuals cooperating closely in hunting and sharing territory. They often live in family groups consisting of a mother and her young. Using burrows they dig themselves or take over from other species for shelter. As a semi-aquatic species, the river otter stands out for its excellent dexterity when hunting underwater. Thanks to their agility and flexibility, they pursue fish, crustaceans, and sometimes amphibians. Their whiskers are very sensitive, allowing them to detect movements in the water even when visibility is limited. Although they often hunt alone, they can also cooperate in groups, increasing their success rate by 20%, especially in deeper waters. The river otter plays a crucial role in the ecological balance of the Everglades cypress dome ecosystem. According to a 2024 study, otters can reduce the population of small predatory fish in the wetlands by up to 30%, which lessens the pressure on larger fish species. Otters also compete for resources with other large predators like alligators, making them an important component in maintaining the delicate balance of the cypress dome ecosystem. In the tranquility of the cypress dome ecosystem, the anhinga perches on a branch or rock with its wings spread wide, drying its feathers and regulating its body temperature. With a body that can be up to 35 inches long and a weight of about 2.6 pounds, the anhinga is capable of diving deep to catch fish and other aquatic animals. However, after these dives, its feathers become waterlogged, making it heavier and limiting its ability to fly. Its ability to fly is highly dependent on sunning, which allows it to dry its feathers quickly, especially in the hot and humid climate of the Everglades. The anhinga is a specialized aquatic predator recognized by its long, sharp bill that allows it to spear and catch fish with high precision. Fish make up to 90% of its diet, according to a 2024 study, while the rest consists of amphibians and small crustaceans. Thanks to its webbed feet, the anhinga swims with agility, gliding underwater like a silent spear, using the shadows to approach its prey without being detected. Through its underwater hunting style, the anhinga plays an essential role in regulating fish populations, helping to maintain the balance of the ecosystem. A 2024 study showed that the anhinga can consume up to 50% of the small fish in some freshwater areas of the Everglades, thereby contributing to the ecological stability of the environment. Along the coast of southern Florida, the majestic aerial roots of the red mangrove rise like natural ramparts, blocking the assault of waves and storms. Where the land meets the sea, the mangrove forest stretches out, embracing the coast. This system not only acts as a shield, but also as a natural nursery. In these nutrient-rich brackish waters, the red mangrove with its prominent roots helps to stabilize the soil and prevent coastal erosion. The black mangrove and the white mangrove form different forest layers, each playing an essential role in maintaining the ecosystem. This is also a vibrant territory teeming with biodiversity. Birds, fish and crustaceans gather here, with over 220 species of fish surviving in this unique brackish water environment. The shallow, nutrient-rich waters under the mangrove canopy provide an ideal place for breeding, protecting the young from predatory threats. The delicate balance of the food chain is maintained by these fish species. They act as a food source for birds and mammals, while also regulating the populations of crustaceans and amphibians. Each morning, as the sun illuminates the mangrove, forests, flocks of wading birds spread their wings and fly across the sky, creating scenes full of life. The brackish water ecosystem of the mangrove forest provides them not only with shelter, but also an abundant source of food. Among these birds, the brown pelican stands out with a wide wingspan of 7 to 8 feet and a unique hunting technique. With an average weight of 7 to 11 pounds, it is one of the iconic species of the coastal and mangrove regions. The brown pelican uses a gular pouch under its bill to catch fish, achieving a success rate of up to 60%, especially during seasons with abundant food. In the past, this species was on the brink of extinction due to the use of the pesticide DDT. Thanks to conservation efforts, their numbers have significantly recovered. Another wading bird that stands out in the mangrove ecosystem is the American white ibis, often seen wading in the shallow waters. In ancient Egypt, it was believed that the ibis was the embodiment of the god Thoth, the deity of wisdom and knowledge. Its long, thin, downward curving bill allows it to search for crustaceans hidden under the mud. Unlike many other wading birds, the white ibis feeds primarily on crabs and shrimp. This dietary preference allows it to control the populations of crustaceans, helping to maintain the ecological balance of the mangrove ecosystem. In the mangrove ecosystem of the Everglades, the great egret also stands out as one of the most majestic wading birds due to its elegance and large size. At over 4 feet tall with a wingspan of up to 5 feet, it is one of the largest water birds, second only to the great blue heron. This species employs a unique hunting technique. It walks slowly or stands still, patiently waiting until a fish frog or large insect passes by. With a lightning-fast reflex in just a few milliseconds, it launches its sharp bill to catch its prey. This skill makes the great egret one of the most effective predators in the mangrove ecosystem. The mangrove ecosystem is now a refuge and feeding ground for one of the rarest and most vulnerable aquatic mammals, the West Indian manatee. This species is particularly vulnerable to boat propellers due to its limited ability to detect low-frequency sounds. Weighing up to 1,200 pounds, these gentle giants spend about 8 hours a day grazing on seagrass and other aquatic vegetation. Their slow and continuous movement contributes to the balance of the ecosystem, consuming up to 100 pounds of vegetation per day. At the intersection of land and sea in the Everglades, the coastal lowlands emerge where natural elements blend perfectly. Here there is no clear boundary between fresh and salt water. Each rainy season brings a flow of fresh water from the north, flooding the swamps and arid lands. The coastal lowlands are a diverse, harsh, yet essential ecosystem. They form a natural rampart, protecting the Everglades from storms. Everything seems to work as if an invisible hand of creation is guiding and arranging every detail with a deep and wonderful wisdom.
In the heart of Croatia, where the wilderness remains raw and majestic, each day is a fierce battle for survival. On the rugged peaks of the Dinaric Alps, alpine chamois forage along sheer cliffs. Unbeknownst to them, a gray wolf silently leads its pack, its eyes like blades in the moonlight. Elsewhere, the Eurasian lynx, with its exquisitely patterned coat, moves like a phantom through the forest, stalking its prey. Beneath the surface, the karst cave systems hold secrets millions of years old. Rushing subterranean rivers, magnificent stalagmites, and mysterious creatures like the Olm tell the story of a world rarely touched by man. Meanwhile, off the Adriatic coast, Atlantic bottlenose dolphins break the calm surface with powerful leaps. The seahorse chooses a quieter path, clinging to seaweed and surviving in harmony with the gentle ocean currents. Croatia's wildlife turns in a ceaseless cycle, and nature reveals itself as a dramatic masterpiece. There is a nation in Europe where every mile of land seems to have been sculpted by the hand of God. Croatia, spanning over 21,600 square miles, is a perfect blend of mountains, plains, sea, and thousands of glittering islands. Situated on the Balkan Peninsula, Croatia lies at the crossroads of the Mediterranean, Central Europe, and Southeastern Europe. Despite its small size, Croatia boasts an immense natural and historical heritage. Perched atop Europe's largest karst system, Croatia emerged from geological movements over 200 million years ago. Over millennia, water and time have sculpted the limestone, creating a vast network of deep caves and karst valleys. Croatia is like a masterful mosaic of natural elements. Jagged limestone peaks and deep valleys paint a picture of raw power and majesty. Meanwhile, water, the lifeblood of the land, is the artist of the Croatian landscape. Croatia is not only a land of natural wonders, but also a place steeped in deep history. In the 6th century, Slavic tribes migrated to the region, laying the foundation for the Croatian state. In 925, under the reign of King Tomislav, Croatia became an independent kingdom, uniting Dalmatia, Slavonia, and the Dinaric Alps. After World War II, Croatia became part of the Yugoslav Federation, finally declaring independence in 1991. Today, Croatia is a modern nation and has been a member of the European Union since 2013. Yet, it retains its distinct identity. With over 37% of its land protected, Croatia is a leader in nature conservation. The city of Dubrovnik, with its ancient walls stretching 6,365 feet, has withstood the fierce Bora winds. Croatia is not just an open book of geology, but also a living museum of biodiversity. Though just over 19,300 square miles, Croatia is home to over 2,300 animal species and 3,500 plant species. Over 47% of Croatia's land area is protected, including 8 national parks and 11 nature parks. This dedication has fostered a model of sustainable conservation. This investment is not merely an environmental effort, but also an economic driver. Over 19 million tourists visit Croatia each year to admire its natural beauty and experience its rare biodiversity. Croatia ranks 3rd in Europe for endemic species, thanks to the Dinaric Alps system. In the heart of Croatia, the Dinaric Alps, like a massive limestone spine, stretch 645 miles from Slovenia to Albania. This mountain range, over 373 miles long, is not just a geographical landmark, but an ecological treasure. Formed by powerful tectonic movements over 50 million years ago, the Dinaric Alps are a natural masterpiece. The groundwater system here supplies over 70% of Croatia's drinking water. The primeval forests of the Dinaric Alps are like an ancient book of nature. Stretching across the rugged limestone terrain, these forests are not just ecosystems but living wonders. The soil here is thin but rich in minerals, providing ideal conditions for the growth of large trees. The silver fir, reaching heights of up to 131 feet, stands like colossal pillars holding up the sky. Deep within the primeval forests of Croatia's Dinaric Alps, the gray wolf emerges as a powerful symbol of the wilderness. These silent predators have existed for hundreds of thousands of years, witnessing changes in climate and landscape. The gray wolf embodies a raw beauty and primal strength, weighing up to 110 pounds and measuring over 5 feet in length. In the 20th century, the gray wolf nearly vanished due to hunting and habitat loss. It was not until the 1,992nd, thanks to dedicated conservation efforts, that their numbers began to recover. Today, only about 200 to 250 individuals remain, primarily in the Dinaric Alps. Far from being solitary phantoms, gray wolves live in tightly knit packs with well-defined social structures. A pack typically consists of 6 to 12 members, led by an alpha pair. Their haunting howls, echoing for over 10 miles, are invisible signals that connect the pack and mark their presence. When hunting, the gray wolf is a strategic genius. Prey such as alpine, chamois, roe deer, and even wild boar are carefully targeted. At the right moment, the pack uses its speed and strength to corner prey in treacherous terrain or deep snow. The hunt is a perfectly coordinated effort, with precise bites to the neck or legs. But the gray wolf's role extends far beyond hunting. They act as guardians of the ecosystem. By preventing overgrazing, wolves help preserve the forest vegetation, maintaining a natural balance. Their presence also creates a landscape of fear, encouraging prey to move frequently. gray wolf, with its strength and intelligence, is not merely a predator, it is the spirit of the forest. The freshwater ecosystem of Plitvice Lakes is one of the richest in Europe, teeming with life both on land and in the water. To date, scientists have recorded about 50 mammal species living in the area. Beyond the large mammals, Plitvice Lakes is home to a much more diverse array of wildlife. Some 321 species of butterflies have been identified here, including 76 day-flying species and 245 moth species. However, scientists estimate this represents only about 40% of the total butterfly population in the area. The shores and shallow waters of Plitvice Lakes provide the perfect environment for 12 amphibian species. Additionally, several reptile species have been recorded here, enriching the characteristic biodiversity of the region. The interconnected lakes and waterfalls of Plitvice are not just a scenic wonder, but also an ideal habitat. The brown trout, a prominent resident of these waters, typically weighs between 2 and 4.5 pounds. The streams and currents in Plitvice act as the ecosystem's lifeblood, bringing vitality to every corner. Streams flowing from the forest into the lakes carry nutrients, while water from the lake seeps into the ground. Plitvice Lakes National Park unfolds like a symphony of water, rock, and life, where nature creates masterpieces. Nestled within the Dinaric Alps, this park is a living testament to the power of time. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979, Plitvice is more than just an enchanting destination. The park's 16 interconnected lakes, linked by over 90 waterfalls, are like shimmering emerald jewels. These lakes are divided into two main sections, the upper lakes and the lower lakes, each with its own distinct beauty. The interplay of light, minerals, and natural currents transforms these lakes into a living watercolor painting. The waterfalls of Plitvice, such as Veliki Slap, which stands 256 feet high, are awe-inspiring wonders. Water cascades down limestone formations, creating a resonant sound like nature's timeless hymn.